Have you ever experienced a quiet season in life that felt wrong? The kind of quiet where your phone does not ring, your prayers seem to hit the ceiling and slide back down, and even your thoughts seem too tired to keep repeating themselves. It is not a peaceful kind of quiet that comes with rest or clarity. It is not a drama. It is a subtle one, and that's what makes it dangerous. The darkest times don't come with noise. They don't let you know or hit you so hard that you see it right away. They come in slowly, like dust settling in a room you haven't been in for a while, almost like they're being polite. At first, you don't notice it. Then one day, everything seems to weigh down on you, and you can't remember when it started. I wish to make this point very clear before I go any further. This narrative is not about pretending that everything is all right, when in fact it isn't. It is not about forcing gratitude or putting on a brave face in the midst of sorrow, and certainly it is not about making it seem like hope is simple. It deals with the real situation when hope seems to be out of reach, and yet, somehow it still exists, even when you are just barely holding on. It seems to start from something little. You wake up one morning and technically nothing is wrong. You breathe well and your body functions. The world hasn't fallen down on you. But internally, something in you feels not right. You don't feel thrilled and you don't cry because you are sad enough. You're just weighed down, like you have a load that you cannot put down. And the most annoying thing is that you don't even know where you got it from. I remember I was telling myself it was nothing. I thought it was just stress or being an adult or that maybe I was exaggerating. I fooled myself that it would go away if I just ignored it. It is common for us as humans that when our emotional pain is not dramatic enough, we tend to pretend it does not exist. Therefore, we keep ignoring it. So I kept moving, kept showing up, kept pretending it wasn't there. Time intervals changed from days to weeks, and the gloom didn't become more intense, it became more intimate. That's the way it wins. It's not like it tells you that it's killing you. It tells you this is how life has become. Eventually, you stop doubting it. You reduce your standards. You quit reaching. You stop asking. Personally, I gave up on expecting good news. I stopped making plans because planning was equivalent to hoping, and hoping was risky. I thought hope was really just the first step of disappointment, and since I had been there so many times, I felt it was the last thing I needed. Therefore, I made a little deal with myself in silence. If I didn't expect anything good, I wouldn't be so broken if nothing changed. Back then, it sounded like the smartest and most mature thing to do, a self-protection strategy. But it was not wisdom, it was simply a survival mode, a reactive state rather than a deliberate choice. My heart had slowly closed itself off, trying not to break. I didn't know how much this decision had cost me until very late. Pause with me here because I am almost certain that someone who is listening right now is in this exact spot. You don't fall apart or cry every day. You are just very tired. You are tired of constantly having to be strong, and you are tired of explaining your feelings when you don't quite understand them yourself. Tired of getting up and putting on a show like today might be a different day, even though the past 10 times have been the same. During the most difficult times of life, losses of various kinds may not always be so evident or perceptible. Some of them may be connected with losing faith not only in the fact of change, but also in the meaning of one's life journey. In a way, it is about questioning whether one's work and efforts really matter. Such a loss comes without knocking and silently. It just quietly takes the joy out of things. I remember times when I would lie awake at night, wide awake, facing up, phone face down, with my room pitch dark and my thoughts running endlessly. I kept wondering how I went astray and what I did wrong, why everyone else seemed to have a great life while I was stuck in a rut. And then a thought would come, the one that changes everything. What if this is our reality? What if this is the best we can expect? Just after the idea of inevitable failure is accepted, hope begins to feel like something one shouldn't have. Being hopeful turns into an act of self-deception, a comforting dream which foils reality. One may start to think that not giving up one's hopes is a behavior that only children have, while accepting an inferior condition and not complaining thereof is a sign of maturity. And when people try to give you supportive words, even if their intentions are good, you can feel that they are neglecting your feelings, and therefore your loneliness gets even worse. People say things like, stay positive, or everything happens for a reason, or God has a plan. Those words aren't wrong, but timing matters. When you are deep in the dark, cliches can sting like accusations, suggesting your struggles are self-inflicted. Like someone is implying that if you're not okay, it's because you are failing at faith or gratitude or effort. Then came the change. The change was so subtle that we didn't notice it at first. Rather, it came silently in the middle of a thought. I recall having the thought that I couldn't go on any longer. And then I stopped myself. Without even knowing why, I unconsciously corrected it. I told myself that no, it wasn't true. I just don't want to stay in this situation anymore. That difference was more significant than it appeared to me at the time. Simply wanting to give up is not the same as not being able to carry on. One is tiredness, the other is being totally worn out. In fact, this minor change opened the tiniest crack in the wall I had built around me. Hope didn't come back as a burst of strength or happiness, but as a soft wonder. I even began to question things without really believing them. What if this time of hardship is not forever? What if I'm not really being punished, but actually being reshaped? What if after a long time, the fact that I survived this will prove to be very important in ways I can't understand now? I didn't accept those ideas immediately. I just gave them some room to be. And sometimes that's how hope starts, not as certainty, but as permission to wonder. During those silent moments, I came to a realization, which I guess most people have missed. Hope in the dark doesn't shout, but quietly whispers. It doesn't guarantee that all will be well. It just says, stay one more day, take one more breath, stay long enough for the next moment to come. Hope isn't the total absence of pain. It's being determined not to let the pain dictate the final outcome. It doesn't get rid of the darkness. It merely equips you with a little light to help you take a step forward without seeing the whole path. And I started to see those little, hardly noticeable moments that are always silently forming our lives. For example, someone letting me in through the door when I least expected kindness. The very wrong time for a song to play, but it somehow felt right. A text from a person who didn't know at all how close I was to losing hope. And I would say to myself, well, that's something. Those moments didn't fix my life. They didn't wipe the heaviness away, but they reminded me I wasn't invisible. And that reminder is sometimes enough to keep going. Waiting for hope to be so big that it stops you from acting is a sure way to go nowhere. In fact, hope is the result of your efforts, not the cause. You get it when you do something despite being scared, when you keep going even though you are unsure, when you take steps even though you don't feel ready. There were still times I wanted to give up. Hope didn't make the dark vanish, it just stopped me from sinking in it. And surviving is not something that looks spectacular from the inside. It is crying in the shower, canceling plans, taking breaks and feeling guilty about them, and showing up imperfectly. It is sometimes a sign of great fortitude to go on even when you don't feel like it. The reality is, you don't have to put on a show to prove that you are really doing it. That time changed my way of looking at things, and I felt a deep empathy for those who live life quietly, without being noticed most of the time. Because now I realize that you can never really know what someone is carrying inside, and sometimes they don't. Eventually, things did change, slowly, carefully, not all at once. The burden was a bit lighter. I began dreaming again. I started to trust again, gently. Here is the lesson I learned. The darkest season doesn't mean you're on the losing side. It means you're being stripped of the things that really matter. Your values, your capacity to be with discomfort and still decide to be kind. Light doesn't get rid of the shadows, it shows the way through them. If you are hearing this now and you're in that situation, then please get this message. You are not weak, you are not behind, you are not forgotten. This period is not the end of your story, it's a chapter. And yes, it's a hard one, but it is not the last. So take a deep breath, in and out. Let's get real. Do one small thing today that is good for your future self. Tell the truth at least once about how you're actually feeling. Don't shame yourself for surviving differently from others. Your hope might be small and fragile, but let it be enough for today. If you got something from this story, if it even kind of reminded you of your own life in some way, don't just keep it to yourself. like this video, comment down below, give this to someone who might be silently struggling. We share stories that don't sugarcoat healing as easy or perfect.
Kindly subscribe to Chronicles of Colors for more transformative and inspiring stories.